Good morning, everyone. How you doing today? So I wanted to make a market related video. I know we've been talking about all the things we talk about in the other videos on this channel,
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
but those aren't the only things I want to talk about. I do want to, when it makes sense, talk about relatively important market videos in this game. And that's what we're going to do today. In particular, we're going to talk about how important it'll be to start investing in Team of the Weeks before you miss the boat. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about other parts of the fodder market in comparison to this and the meta market and the general trends that happen over the course of November. Some of you are already going to be aware of these things for sure. Others, you may have forgotten what tends to happen exactly during this month of the game. Regardless, I think it's a good reminder for all of us, including myself. So let's dive in. We won't need any notes from our trusty notepad today, but I have pulled up some examples in the background to show you these trends, especially from last year, because that is some of the best context I can provide to show basically what I'm trying to show. With that being said, let's start here with where the fodder team of the week prices are at this moment. Right now, they're hovering around 15K or so. If they're higher rated, obviously they're a little bit more, but we're looking at about 15, 16K right now, okay? If you can see on the screen behind me as I hover over them, we're looking at 15 to 16K. Now, what I've done in the next tab is I've pulled up the equivalent team of the week from last year in FC24 to do a bit of a comparison and show you a few of the graphs of some of those players. So this was the equivalent team of the week from last year, okay? Now, their current prices aren't what matters. So what I've done is I've pulled up some individual cards. Now, the reason why I'm going to show you more than just one is that each individual card can be affected by links and especially evolutions. So you don't just want to look at one card, you want to look at least a few. I'm not going to go through all the tabs behind me here, but I will show you just a few of the lower rated cards to see what happens, even at the lowest rated team of the weeks. So here we are, okay, our first example. When we scroll down to the graph, what we're going to do, actually I've already prepared this one. I've set the graph to this time range so you can see we are around here. And by the way, this is an important point. Last year, Black Friday was on the 24th of November. This year, it is 5 days later in the month. It is the 29th. So you can sort of calibrate this timeline a little bit if you care to. I'm just making a point that Black Friday is pretty much a week later this year. So we are right around this part of the graph this year. And what people can expect to happen is that by the end of, say, a week from now, these prices are probably not going to be holding at 10 to 15K. They're probably going to be holding into the low to mid 20s. And basically from there, it's going to keep climbing, okay? And here is where Black Friday was last year, Friday, November 24th, where an 80 rated team of the week peaked at about 40,000 coins, okay? On both console and PC. So, if you want to get out of that, you might be selling at like 39K, but I'm just showing you what they peak at. Now, very briefly, we'll look at another card here. I'll just show you which card it is, right? An 81 rated team of the week. Here we look at a similar timeline, same exact timeline. So I hope that basically demonstrates, I'm not going to go through all of these. I'll do one last one here. Here's one last example real quick. Similar timeline, similar price, right? You see it climb, you can see each day. And by the time November 24th hits, what is it? 40 to 41K, exactly like the other ones, right? Now I'm going to go ahead and close these tabs. The higher rated cards will be at a naturally higher price if you feel like investing in those instead. Personally, I think it just makes the most sense to buy the lowest rated ones, but it's up to you, personal preference. That's pretty much what you can expect from these team of the weeks. Now, practically all of these cards are fodder. That's all they're used for, except for some exceptions like Openda and Conte, right? For example. But what about the rest of the fodder market? Well, for gold fodder, it's much harder to predict the trend of what will happen to them between now and Black Friday.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Generally, you can expect them to hold high value and possibly go up a lot, but fodder will also have periods of time where it trends down between now and Black Friday as well. The biggest opportunity for people to make the most coins, if that's what your interest is, between now and Black Friday is absolutely Team of the Weeks. You can leave them on your transfer list. You can store some of them in your club for space, and you can basically sell them for 30 to 40K at any point closer to Black Friday. Now, if you are holding on to any meta gold cards, for example, right now I have Hansen, and especially Hansen. Thankfully, she's going out of packs because of this current Centurions promo, supposedly. So that's going to help keep her price. But in general, the gold market is going to continue to crash. So you kind of have to decide how you want to manage your club between now and then. Do you want to hang on to meta gold cards and benefit from using them in your in-game? Or do you want to try to get out of them sooner before they continue to crash and invest instead in Team of the Weeks and then benefit from that after Black Friday? You can basically change the outlook of your club depending on which route you want to go. Both are valid. I really enjoy using a card like Hansen because she is insane in the game. A card like Hansen, and actually let's do this. Let's take a look, for example, what happened last year. So let's go to Generations. Meta gold card, not as expensive as Mbappe. Last year she had a 4-star weak foot. This year she has a 5-star weak foot. But if we look during, I've got to get the right angle here. So where are we? So calendar flips to November. We start to see this trend, right? Early November, 800K. By, say, Black Friday, right? Remember, it was the 24th. And actually, this is where I might as well just talk about this real quick. One of the best buying opportunities, if you want to rebuild your team, is going to be actually sort of a 48-hour period before the Black Friday promo hits at content time on Friday, right? In this case, Friday, the 29th of November. So Wednesday, as people sell off their teams after rivals demand is gone. And then Thursday, because there's no more gameplay demand really, and people will further panic about Black Friday being around the corner. And then into even Friday morning. That window is the best buying window for your club, because what will end up happening, generally speaking, after significant market crashes like that, is they will hold their prices very well. So here in Hansen's case, which is a prime example, she was at the bottom of the price for her was about 420K, 425. And she maintained, and actually that price increased. And even into the second and third week of December, if you compare 400K here, this is like 3 whole weeks later versus the 400 she is here, 420-ish, you're really not losing coins over a 3-week period. And that is actually very good, to be honest, especially with Team of the Year around the corner, right? And then once Team of the Year gets closer, there will continue to be panic. The power curve shifts more and more. Of course, cards are going to generally trend down over the course of the year. So, you can either hold on to a card like this and expect to lose coins between now and Black Friday, or you can shift, depending on how you want to manage your club, into Team of the Weeks. I do plan to invest a decent portion of my coins into these Team of the Weeks in the next 24 hours or so. I want to wait a little bit longer, and this is probably the last point of the video. I play on PC. And I'm actually very curious to see what happens on Friday morning after about, 8 hours of Weekend League being open for the hackers. I think that because they're in the business of making as many coins as possible, the plethora of hackers on the PC market are going to be up and ready, running through 15 and O's. And I'm just curious to see if that hurts the PC market for these team of the weeks. So for me, the way I'm looking at it is I need to buy Friday before content time. But I think on console, if you just want to play it safe, you probably just want to buy them immediately. Whatever coins you can spare that you are certain in a week's time, you don't need to have the liquidity of those coins in a week or two. It's best to probably just buy them right now. Rivals rewards have already hit. There's tradable supply right now. There will be more tradable supply after marquee matchups. And in a few days, I just think that most of these cards are going to be up in price and it's not going to turn back. It's going to be that boat is going to be on its way. It's going to have sailed. Okay. So that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions or any interest in any other sort of market related topics or anything else about the game, chime in. I would be happy to consider talking about those things and obviously engaging in the comments. I really enjoy that. So with that being said, have a great day and I will see you in the next video. Peace.